Helldivers, Terminids are on the rise, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the 5 best weapons to taking out the Terminids with. I'm going to be showcasing gameplay alongside them, so you can see what I personally like to use. Now obviously this is an opinionated video, so if you don't agree or there are different things that you like more, let me know in the comments down below. At the end of the day, there's a lot of great weapons. One of them that I didn't throw in is the double-edged sickle, for example. I love the double-edged sickle, and I think it is great, but I feel like the 5 weapons I'm going to be listing today are more effective at dealing with missions and getting the job done. So with that being said, in the number 5 position, we have the Flame 66 Torture. This is basically the Flamethrower stratagem thrown on as a primary. Now it does a little bit less damage, but it is still incredibly dangerous. It will take out an Alpha Commander, a Brute Commander, in about 2 seconds of flame, which is kind of wild. Not only that, but it completely ignites an area on the ground in fire, which means that not only will it create kind of a barrier that stops any small bugs from making it through, because they'll die, but it also just kind of clears everything. The other thing that I love about the Flamethrower is that because it holds 6 magazine of ammo, you basically just never run out of ammunition with this weapon. You know, a lot of other guns, something like the Scorcher, for example, you're out of ammo in like 10 seconds. And it's a problem. It's the same thing for a lot of the SMGs. But this weapon just never runs out of ammo. It does a huge amount of damage per second, and because of that, it is one of the best bug weapons. Especially if you pair it with a gas guard dog, you can just cut through hordes of enemies like they don't even exist. Especially if you're stuck in a bug breach. Normally you're really worried about bugs running all around you, but you can just flame a whole area around you, use one stim, especially if you're using flame-resistant armor, and you're not going to have to worry too much. So I really do like the Torture. It's one of my favorite weapons to use, especially because of how fun it is. The only problem with the Torture is it's really only good against the bugs. I mean, yes, you can use it against Illuminate, and I guarantee there's going to be people that say it's good against Illuminate in the comments, but at the end of the day, I don't find this weapon to be that effective against Illuminate, especially because there's the flying elevated overseers, and it's terrible against the bots. So it's a great bug weapon, but that's about as far as it's going to get. In the number 4 position, we have another very, very special and unique weapon. This is the Arc 12 Blitzer. Now, the Blitzer has a whole different meaning to a lot of ammo, and that's because it has infinite ammo, as we can see by the capacity. This weapon is incredible. And it's, again, mainly good against bugs. It can also do great against Illuminate, but, again, the elevated overseers, it does struggle with. Now, some of the things the Blitzer's great at, it has medium armor pen, which means that if you're shooting at anything that has somewhat beefy, you're going to cut right through them. Not only that, it does a lot of damage per shot. It's 2 direct hits to an Alpha Commander, and you'll take its head off. And it'll kill any smaller bug in 1 to 2 shots as well, which is really, really nice. Its rate of fire has been buffed multiple times now to a point where you're almost unstoppable. I just did a whole mission today. It was about a 30-minute mission with a group of randos, and I got over 1,050 kills, but also just didn't die at all. Like, this is such a good weapon to dealing with everything. The fact that you never need to worry about reloading makes this an amazing weapon when you're chilling with friends, because you never have to worry about the resupply. And if you pair it with something like a guard dog with the scythe, it's such a good combo. It also staggers everything that chases you. I do think that the Blitzer is really one of the most underrated bug weapons, and for those of you that love it, you instantly know why I'm saying it's so good. But yeah, I would highly recommend to mess around with the Blitzer because it's an incredibly solid choice. Next up, we have the Cookout. Yeah, the Cookout is one of these weapons that I didn't like originally, but after messing around with it a lot more, and especially after the Urban Legends armor set was released, I think it's amazing. So here's what I'm going to say. I think that the Cookout is only amazing if you're pairing it with the Siege armor passive. So if we go over to the armor, we can see, if I scroll a little bit to heavy, for example, this passive. And Siege Ready, what it does is it increases reload speed of primary weapons by 30% and increases ammo capacity of primary weapons by 20%. In other words, you just have more ammo capacity and you shoot faster. And that, to me, is what allows the Cookout to be an incredibly useful weapon, because when you're running that, not only do you reload the single shot so much faster, but you also have 72 rounds of ammo, which means that you just never run out of ammo. It does a huge amount of knockback, it does an insane amount of damage per shot, and it does fire damage, which is amazing, especially when you're dealing with birds, because it doesn't do a lot of fire damage. It's only enough to kill small bugs like hunters. It's not ever going to deal with anything larger, but it will nuke the birds. This is probably the best gun for killing birds, right up there next to the Breaker Incendiary. The major problem I have with the Breaker Incendiary is just the fact it doesn't have a lot of ammo. It only has 4 mags. And even though each mag is 25 rounds, which technically means you have 100 shots, it's not as good as the Cookout, in my opinion. I love the knockback this gun has. I love everything about the Cookout. I can tell you that this is definitely something that you should consider using, and it's a great reason on why, if you like going up against the Terminids, you should consider getting the Freedom's Flame, because you get the Cookout and you get the Torture, which are 2 really, really fun weapons against bugs. Moving on, we have the Crossbow. The Crossbow is just incredible. I don't know where the heck it's listed. There you go. The Exploding Crossbow. The Crossbow is the highest damaging weapon in the game for a primary. It does 620 damage a shot. It's basically the same damage as a grenade. And the Exploding Crossbow is the only primary, apart from the Eruptor, that can shoot bug holes and break them. This is huge. When you are dealing with a Mega Nest or you're dealing with a Heavy Nest, it sucks when you have to use your nades, and especially if you're not using something like the grenade pistol. As I said, it just sucks. You don't want to use all of your grenades or, you know, your support weapon ammo on closing a bug hole. But the Crossbow can just shoot them, and what's great is you can shoot them from a really far distance as well, making this an incredibly useful tool for dealing with bug missions. Not only that, as I said, it does explosive damage. If you're ever up against nursing spewers or bile spewers, it'll kill them in 2 shots. And it will nuke any horde of bugs if you shoot the ground. It'll just splatter them across the wall. You do have to be a little careful, because obviously if you get jumped by a bug and you shoot it, it will kill you. You can't shoot something within about 5 feet, because you'll kill yourself. And it's also good at team killing, because if there's a bug near a teammate and you shoot that bug, it'll blow up and kill your teammate. And trust me, I've probably killed myself over 100 times with the Crossbow at this point using it. But as long as you know what you're doing, you run a secondary, because your primary can deal with bug holes, you don't need to worry about, like, the nade pistol. So usually I'll do something like the Redeemer, and then I'll run the Crossbow, and that way, you know, the Redeemer will just go and kill everything around me, and then I can pull out the Crossbow and deal with anything further away. So the Crossbow I really think is super good. Anybody that uses it knows why it's so good. Plus, the Crossbow's not just good against the bugs, it's great against the Illuminate, it's great against the bots. I would say it's actually best against bots, but it's also great against bugs. It is one of the most versatile weapons in the game, and it's in one of the best battle passes in the game, so yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. Finishing off in the #1 position, we have what I believe to be just the best gun in the game, and that is the Plaz 101 Purifier. The Purifier is just amazing, and it's because of the fact it's a charge-up weapon that does almost the same damage as a Crossbow. Basically the same damage. It will, in 2 full charges, take out any nursing spewer, any bile spewer. And not only that, it will nuke any small bug. But here's the major advantage of this weapon versus the Crossbow. The downside is that you can't break bug holes, but the advantage is that you hold 15 rounds of capacity. And you don't have to shoot them all charged up. You can charge up this weapon, or you can just go bam, 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 and spam the whole thing at once. And if you're getting rushed by a bunch of bugs, that's what I do. Because the Crossbow has that one downside of, as I said, if you get rushed by bugs, you have to worry about killing yourself. But this gun, that's not actually a problem. You don't have to worry. Plus, for some reason, the Crossbow bolts will ricochet sometimes. The Purifier does not ricochet. Whatever you hit will instantly blow up on. So what that means is it's much easier to shoot the Purifier at the ground and kill whatever it is in front of you. I can definitely tell you that the Purifier is the best weapon in the game. There's nothing that comes close to the Purifier, especially after the Double-Edged Sickle's tiny changes. The Purifier is just incredible. And it's not just good against bugs, it's the best against bots. It's incredible against Illuminate. It's so overpowered that I just don't run it much anymore because I think it takes away a little bit of the fun from the game. But you guys can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions in the section down below. And apart from that, I'll see you all. Bye-bye!